Greetings. You're watching Septum Sen versus the World. I'm Septum Sen. You know, sometimes I believe the best view of God is from hell. That is a quote from Exorcist the Beginning, which is one of my favorite parts of this film. I feel that this particular run of films has to have an ending, and this is the perfect way to go about it. Because sometimes the best ending is going back to the beginning. Of course, there were two different cuts of this film. There was Exorcist the Beginning and Exorcist Dominion. So, again, back to our anthology, running back to those two films. There are director's cuts and theatrical releases, and then there's this. I mean, these were very different films. They both follow the basic plot line of our, older father who was in the first Exorcist film, and about his first run-in with the demon that he had to exorcise. They talk about it a little bit. It's like, yeah, he had to do this, it almost killed him. So now we're going back in the past, in the 40s, in Africa, where we have this mysterious temple that they have unearthed in an archaeological dig. But when they unearth this temple, crazy things start to happen. And a demon is released. The same demon that we see later on, supposedly. Or maybe not. Now that is pretty much the same. The rest is very different. There are characters in the beginning that are not in the other one. The person that's possessed in the beginning is not the one possessed in Dominion. And you can definitely see a different feel for these films. They both involve similar concepts, such as the British Army going like crazy, and having this conflict with the natives in this African wilderness. The interaction of our priest and his scarred past in Nazi Germany. Well, really in Switzerland, or no, not in Switzerland, Netherlands, but due to a conflict with the Nazis, where many people died because of something in his mind that he did. And then, of course, we have this relationship between him and the main doctor character, and how she deals with this. Other things, like, of course, in the beginning you have the little boy, and you also have this guy who is sort of a guide or something like that, and he has some involvement in that. So that's pretty interesting. But if I was to look at the two films, I would say Dominion holds the most interest. I feel like it explains itself a lot more. The beginning kind of bounces around a little bit and leaves you a little bit confused. It does have my favorite line in it, which I did at the beginning here, but otherwise I feel like Dominion is the more superior film. You actually get a better understanding of what's going on, and because of that, it feels a little bit better. So with this, you've got pretty good acting. It does have some legitimate scary moments. The scenes with the possessed, and then the final exorcism, very intense scenes. You get a better feel for the series when you watch this. The story itself I find fascinating. I find this whole unearthed temple fascinating. It holds your attention throughout most of it. Both films are about the same length, so there's nothing different there. I'd say that the downside is, of course, the beginning is a bit confusing to watch. In both films, the CG, especially the ones they use to activate the hyenas, is a little bit poor in rendering, so it's not quite as scary as it could be. And because of the length, they kind of, they're almost 2 hours apiece. They kind of they do kind of drag a little bit. The first one, the beginning, drags a lot more than Dominion does. So, in the end, I would put these, when I rate them as separate films, I would say probably the beginning would probably be closer to a 6, whereas Dominion would be closer to a 7. But I would say that in general, maybe a 6.5 if you merge them together. Do you need to watch one or the other, or do you need to watch them both, or do you need to watch only one? If you have that question, I would say you can just, to me, I feel like you can get away with just watching one unless you're a completionist like I am. I would just watch Dominion, forget about beginning. You got the best part of beginning when I told you in the beginning that line. Otherwise, you're getting everything that you liked about beginning, and you're getting a little bit more explanation, more character background, and a cooler looking villain. I mean, I really like the way that they did the villain in this. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you where to get this film one last time. And of course, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in the next one.